With the Citi Double Cash Card, you get 1% cash back when you buy and 1% as you pay. That's like the joy of getting 2 W's on the road or catching the home run ball without spilling your drink. Double boom. Double the love with the Citi Double Cash Card. Apply now at Citi.com/doublecash.
I realized walking in today that something interesting has happened with this Marlin sale. Do you think that Derek Jeter had a conversation with Bruce Sherman? I don't know what the number was.
Is it a conversation with anyone?
I don't. You came to the microphone so fast there, and I'm so scarred from yesterday that I thought I got Bruce Sherman's name wrong.
You good?
Like I'm so scared right now of everybody's name. I'm going to start. You know what I'm going to try and do? I'm going to try and speak today in pronouns. I'm going to see if I can avoid names just altogether.
What are those?
Do you think that Bruce Sherman and Derek Jeter had a conversation about, hey, you know how Goodell for the NFL is a meat shield for all the crud? I'm going to traffic in your image. Your image is going to get me into baseball. Your pristine unicorn image is going to get me into baseball. And then Jeter's like, it's going to be $5 million a year because of the beating I'm going to take to my integrity at the very beginning. I haven't had a stain on my resume in New York of unpopularity for however many years. So if you want me to take the beating, because I want to know how it is that Bruce Sherman's not getting dragged in all this. I want to call his office every day. I want to call his office every day until he talks to us because he's using Jeter as a meat shield. Criticizing Jeter all the time is like criticizing the Williams sisters for owning the Dolphins. I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
Jeter's just this guy. He's just this face who's just wandering around taking the beating, but he's not. Like, he's not in charge of stripping down the plan to get the amount of money right.
No, but if Venus and Serena were in charge of football operations, then you would be giving more criticism to Venus and Serena.
This is happening because of Bruce Sherman. Bruce Sherman, I don't know what the relationship is between Jeter and Bruce Sherman. I don't know if Sherman is one of these New York guys who just wants to be boys with Jeter because he's got a bunch of money that he made in Wall Street. And he just wants to hang out with Jeter and want to be a baseball owner. I don't know anything about him, but I'd like to talk to him. And I'd like to harass his office until we talk to him.
I think he's from Naples. Like, I think he's a Florida guy, and he wanted to buy this for his family. Like, the only thing I heard Bruce Sherman ever say was in that first press conference, and he was, like, thanking his grandkids and saying happy birthday to people. And I'm like, this guy's kind of goofy. We're never going to see him again.
Mike, can we call Bruce Sherman's office, like right now on the air, and I will tell the secretary as we call her, the administrative assistant, wherever it is that Bruce Sherman takes calls, I will tell her that she's on the air, and I want to start calling Bruce Sherman every day on the air until he comes on with us.
It doesn't work like you can't just say, hi, you're on the air. And
no, I'm not going to do it like that. No, I am saying that you get her on the phone, and I start the conversation. As soon as she says, hello, Bruce Sherman's office, I explain to her specifically, you are on the radio right now.
Yeah,
if you don't
that's not how it works.
What do you mean that's not how it works?
Legally, it's not how you do it, legally speaking.
Legally, according to whom? Let the FBI raid the place. What do you mean?
The FCG.
Legally, according to...
raid the place?
Like, what are you talking about, legally? I can't call somebody?
No, you can't do it that way. You can't spring, hi, you're live on the air.
What are the FCC rules?
You can't do that.
Well, tell us.
What are the penalties,
Tell
Mike?
us the way to do it. Like, do you call and say, hey, I'm going to put you on the phone with two gentlemen who are on the air?
Yeah, you have to say hi. You have to identify yourself and your corporate entity, and you say, we would like to bring you on the air, and you have to give them the opportunity to accept or decline. You can't just put somebody on the air that doesn't want to be on the air.
And or he or she is going to decline.
Hold on. How about this? This is something they can't control. We don't have to put them on the air. You could put me on the air with a telephone, not hearing the person's voice, and you'll just hear my end of the conversation.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's do that then.
Okay.
All right.
Get me Bruce Sherman's telephone number and how it is that I could go about calling him.
Right, there's that.
I love this. This is great.
I mean, yes, let's do. I want to talk to this person. Like, how's he escaping all of this?
Because he has Jeter. That's it.
Guillermo, can you look up for me what the amount of money was that they had to borrow? I know they were getting all sorts of trouble with their loans. What was the amount of money they had to borrow to buy this team? Because I think one of the great things that's being missed here, Stugatz, is how much Jeter overspent for this team. The reason this happened, okay, and Moss, the other owner, had big plans for the community, for the baseball team. He actually cares about Miami, unlike Sherman and Jeter. And Moss came in at a little under the $900 million because that's where they put the overpriced value. They put the overpriced value, the worth of the franchise, on about $850 to $875.
Right.
And Jeter bought it for $1.1 billion, and he didn't have $1.1 billion. And that loan, I believe, is the difference between those two numbers. And the reason this is happening, Jeter wanted the team so badly that he had a plan with baseball, to get the team, and Jeter had to explain to them how it is that $1.1 billion was going to work. So baseball signed off on Stanton. They signed off on, yeah, Jeter, you can have that team when we understand you're bleeping South Florida again.
Right.
Do you understand the details on how that happened?
Yeah, of course. Major League Baseball kind of knew, just based on the price of the team, Major League Baseball knew what Derek Jeter was going to have to do once he took over the team.
Not just based on the price. In words.
In words, yes.
Not on the.
Here's my plan for the Miami Marlins.
It's like, Jeter, how are you doing this? Explain to us. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll trade Stanton. I need to get rid of some of these contracts. I'll strip it down again. And baseball signed off on all of that. Because this isn't a surprise to baseball what Jeter did. Baseball's helping Jeter. Baseball's helping Jeter figure this out the same way they helped Loria figure it out at the very beginning when he bought him for $10 million and they just gave him all sorts of money.
Right.
That he parlayed in. But I'd like to know the amount of money that Jeter had to get in a loan because he was having trouble securing these loans because the banks knew that this wasn't the price for this organization. And so Jeter's first order of business was to spend so much and too much on what he was buying in such a way that South Florida is the one who's going to cover the costs for him. Get the hell out of here, man.
I'm trying to find out this information. Bruce Sherman himself put up close to $400 million.
Yeah, and that's close to the loan that I've seen reported. I've seen between $300 and $400 million.
They paid $800 in cash. Yeah. $90 million came from a preferred fund founded by Michael Dell.
I'm telling
and then they assumed $400 million in debt. $100 million assumed, $300 being reworked.
I'm telling you, I am as bothered. I'm more bothered. Jeter's an easy face. He's put his voice and face on this.
Right.
I'm vastly more bothered by what baseball did. Because baseball has endured all of this history with Miami. Baseball knows how hard it was to get all this stuff down here. Baseball knows that stadium saved baseball in Miami as they did those crock things of talking about moving the team to San Antonio and Las Vegas. And now we get into this situation where we had the right owner. Moss would have been a swashbuckling Cuban owner who would have been caring about Miami and caring about spilling money over the bar because the money wasn't the issue to him. He cares about Miami.
Well, to be fair, we don't know that exactly. We know what he was saying, and that gets you popular. And now he has the benefit of saying, I wouldn't have done this because he's not the guy. However, Moss and his brother, the Moss family, are saving MLS soccer in Miami because Beckham just had a big-time billionaire investor bail out in the 11th hour, and the Moss has slipped right in there.
That's the guy I'd like to get on the show is Moss. I'd like to get him on the show.
We're trying.
To find out if he's real.
No, he is real. I got a message from him yesterday.
You did?
You got a message from Moss?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Do you have a contact?
I do.
Well, let's get him on.
Let's go. I've been working other people. Yeah, let's go. Let's go for it.
What are you waiting for? Want to give that number to me? I'll take care of it.
No, because I just got, it was actually funny. I got a text message that was a number I didn't recognize, and then it just said the hologram.
Really?
Because I accused him of being a hologram who was used in negotiations by Loria and Sampson as they sat him down at the All-Star game next to Loria just to scare up the price on Jeter.
So we're still not entirely sure this is Moss.
No, it's him.
All right.
There was an answer to that.
Oh, okay.
I answered. It wasn't just, I didn't just get like the hologram and then like, okay, this is Moss. I'm not. So, but I want to talk to Sherman. I don't want to talk to Moss.
Well, we can talk to both, right?
Yesterday you wanted to talk to Moss, so no Moss?
I want to talk to Sherman first. No Moss for now.
All right.
And how are we doing this? Did you guys round up a number for Sherman's office?
Allison's working on it. She's made like 3 calls in the last minute.
All right. We'll see if we call Bruce Sherman. Smoke out Bruce Sherman next.
Computer, execute 12.4p operation.
Optimizing algorithm. Running encryption packet alpha. Night. Oh, I don't feel so good.
What is it, computer?
Is it hot in here? It feels hot in here. I feel a little clammy. I should lie down or something.
A computer with a virus? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
Those oysters Rockefeller were a mistake.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Lebatard. You introduced me to a great masseuse. Jeff Finney is his name. Now, there was a time where Jeff Finney was giving me massage on a weekly basis. He's rough. Like, he stretches you out, and it's really, really rough. Stugats! And I sent him a text, or I thought I sent him a text saying, hey, 9 o'clock tonight, I'm ready for you to work on me. I sent it to Jeff DeForest.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugats on the ticket.
Is it true that Nick Saban finished third in that Alabama race last night? As a write-in candidate, how many votes did he get as a write-in?
They haven't counted all the write-ins yet, but there's a strong assumption that several votes were made. In fact, I saw an interview, CNN, I think. I saw it pop up on my timeline where someone legit, they did an interview after someone left the polls, and they legit voted for Nick Saban.
No, I think Nick Saban got 20,000 votes. I don't know if that would have been enough to swing the election the other way. I wasn't paying very much attention. I just was trying to find the funny.
Well, there were 22,819 write-in votes total.
20,000 went to Saban?
I'm trying to find that out. But if he got all 22, meaning
Saban wouldn't get all 22.
No. If Roy Moore had gotten the 22,819 write-in votes, he would have won that. I think he would have won with the 20,000 if Nick Saban indeed got 20,000. But I'm checking.
It sounds
don't fall. There's a lot of fake news on Twitter right now.
Right.
There's not an official count.
Okay. Texter writes in, you guys are making it seem like Moss would be your savior. He'd be in the same position, only without Jeter. Maybe. I'd like to find out more about that. I don't know that for sure. I don't know the finances of this enough. The reason that my outrage has crept in the last couple of days is because I hadn't realized the number of details I missed here, Stugats, on the gifting of this baseball team to him. Because when he came down and stripped it down, the first announcement that they were going to strip it down again was a surprise to me. And so I didn't understand the finances. I didn't understand that the starting point on this is baseball helping Derek Jeter to increase the marketplace price. Baseball helped Derek Jeter get to an amount of money that he couldn't get to with him or his investors. Like, I had a suspicion of that when those reports came out that the Bush thing fell apart, that Jeter was looking for partners all over the place.
Right.
But we are pounding Jeter on something. He's got a 4% interest in the baseball team. It's a 4%. He bought in for a 2% interest.
Right.
He's making all that money back in salary.
Sure, but he's the guy making the decisions. So he is the guy, right? He's front and center. He's in charge of baseball operations.
I know,
he's making these decisions.
But he's not making the decisions on whether or not, like, the decision he's making is on how to get it down to a number that Sherman finds palatable. Sherman's the one who needs the number to get down.
Right.
Because Sherman's the one with the major stake in the team.
We're going to speak to David Sampson tomorrow during the local hour. We might get an interesting perspective.
I got a lot of questions, man.
However, he'll probably toe the line that's just the Marlins were losing money. And you got to keep asking yourself. It just doesn't make sense.
Why and how?
So they're losing $400 million, yet all these big-time investors that are good with money just can't wait to overspend on this product that's always losing money.
Why and how?
Well, I don't know if you factor in owning the stadium and the surrounding property there, Mike.
Yes, of course you do. Of course you do.
Right, but I'm saying, I don't know, does that go on the P&L when they say they're losing on an annual basis $400 million, whatever it is?
Well, they co-own, yeah.
Right, but when he goes to sell the team again at some point, and he will sell the team again at some point, he gets to sell all that land. That's probably equally as attractive to him than owning the baseball team.
There are a lot of purchases in South Florida going on right now where people are buying things they don't want or need for the land. That would not be a place. That would not be one of the places that you would imagine that would be valuable. Hugely valuable Miami property. There's you saw where the Miami Herald building is on the bay, right? You remember where it was on the bridge on the bay? That space has been empty for a long time because somebody from China keeps waiting for gambling to get allowed here so they can put a casino there. Like, it's just empty land. They're not doing anything with this land that's worth, I don't know how many, hell, that land kept the Miami Herald as a functioning business property while everything else leaked money. That land was protecting and saving the Miami Herald. It's why they sold it. They sold it to get all of the cash influx from that land. But I don't know enough about business, and that land near the Orange Bowl doesn't seem like it'd be very, very valuable.
Well, also, I could see where that would be more important if this were an antiquated stadium, but it's a brand new stadium. You're talking several decades in advance where you're talking tear down and then the land's just valuable.
Right. I'd just be curious. There are a number of things here that have piqued my curiosity, but one of them, and the reason I got to the state that I got to yesterday, and I'm still sort of here, is because the New York Yankees just pulled off the ridiculous sports radio trade. That every guy who calls a sports radio show is like, yeah, I'd like to get LeBron for Winslow and a second-round pick. You think we could do that?
Right.
The Yankees just pulled that trade off. Castro's a bum, dude.
Yes.
Castro's a bum.
Yes. You're right. It's funny that you said that. It's one of those trades where someone calls Mike Francesa and says, hey, Castro and a couple of minor leaguers for Stanton, and he hangs up on him.
That's right.
Yes.
It's like, what are you talking about? Stanton's going to cost something. And furthermore, the Marlins will pay some of they'll pay some of the contract. Like, what? It's such an egregiously bad trade, as if Stanton doesn't have value. And it's like, what the hell are you talking about? That contract is enormous. It's the largest in the history of the sport. But what's remaining on that contract, if Giancarlo Stanton became a free agent today, that's what the Yankees would spend to get him.
Of course, yes.
I'm enjoying from afar watching Derek Jeter experience negative press coverage for the first time in his life, and he appears to not be doing great with it. I heard this quote the other day where he was defending what they got back in the trade, and he sort of put it all on Mike Hill because it's his job to do it, so we're supposed to trust that.
Well, what I'd say to that is we have people in place whose jobs are to know about talent. And, I think they would disagree with you. We think we got some good prospects in return, and now it's up to us as an organization to help develop them. So, yes, you're right. It's the National League most valuable player. I don't care what prospect you get back. It won't be, household names for a fan base. But, we have a talented group in the front office and the baseball operations
No, you don't.
side.
No, you don't.
That, I have a lot of confidence in the prospects that we got in return.
What's he going to say there?
No, I actually believe that he believes and they believe in the lower tier prospects, but you have to. If for nothing else other than public relations, you have to get the best prospects in their organization. Like, that's not unreasonable. And the Yankees would be happy with that, too, incidentally. Yankee fans would be thrilled if they got Stanton for the 2 or 3 biggest names in their farm system.
Right. Stanton's supposed to be a guy that could fix your farm system, right? You trade Stanton at 20, and he could fix it.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, the Yankees made a couple of deals, deadline deals. I think Miller was one, and maybe Chapman was another, and it fixed their farm system completely.
He's of the age that it is Trout, Harper, Stanton. That's the order. Trout, Harper, Stanton, in terms of people in that sport that you're ready to pay because of the age that they are.
Right.
They're in their prime. Those guys even younger than he is.
Mm-hmm.
The Stanton contract, by the way, being the largest in the sport is a bit of a mirage, though, because it's spaced out over 13 years. So he's only getting like $25 million a year when you actually break it down to 13 years. So it's not like he's the highest paid player in baseball. The most he's going to get in a year is $32 million. And that's in like 2023, 2024. So even then, that's not going to be the highest salary in baseball.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying that this is the part that got me from curious to pissed off was what they got. Because Stugotz, to me, it's not irrelevant. They didn't have to trade him this minute.
Right.
You could wait to get something better than that. They wanted to purge themselves of what they thought was a Stanton problem. And I'm like, you're looking at that all wrong. Like, it's not a Stanton problem. Stanton has value. People will want that. You could play half a season and a contender's going to want to add that to their lineup. The Boston Red Sox are going to be chasing a title, and they're going to want to add that. And if you have, over the course of that time, built a relationship with Stanton, You might be able to send him or convince him to go somewhere else. Boston he wouldn't go to because I think for some of the same reasons he won't go to St. Louis.
Well, if you did it right from the start in terms of building a relationship with Stanton, you could get Stanton to say, hey, we're putting this out there because we want to get a better offer from the Yankees. So just go with it.
Right.
Don't say anything.
Correct.
Right. Like, don't tell the world that you don't want the Cardinals trade.
Correct.
Don't do that.
You do to baseball. This is what's funny. This is what's funny about what happened with this trade. You do to baseball what the Marlins did to you by inventing Moss. They got the price up.
Right.
They suckered you. Do the same thing. Like, get the price up. What they got for Stanton, it's egregious and offensive because they treated it as something. Do you remember? They treated it as we want to staple Stanton. It's as if it's just a step short of Yankees. You want Ozuna? You got to take Stanton too. Like, they gave him away.
They did.
I think the worst part of that conference call was Jeter saying this was the best of the 3 deals, because that shows he either doesn't know what he's doing at all or he's lying to you. He's lying to you and he thinks that you're dumb, that this is the best deal they could have gotten for Stanton. Because there's no way. The other 2 deals were better. He just said no to them.
Well, it's the best deal of the team Stanton wanted to go to.
Right. But yeah,
and the only deal.
Who says those deals were better?
Everyone that's seen the prospects, that knows the prospects, has said that those deals are better.
I don't think that's true.
These people just were willing to take more money, which is part of the issue.
People are trying to project these prospects. They're all prospects. The Yankees have good prospects. Like, you're saying it like it's fact.
The Yankees do have good prospects. That's true. I'm not saying that the 2 young guys that they got aren't any good. I'm saying how offensive it is that they're telling us what you get for Stanton. You'll see it in about 3 or 4 years. Like, they're such low they're high prospects, but they're so low down. Yeah, of course. One of them might turn out to be the next Giancarlo Stanton. Once upon a time, Mike Stanton was a nobody. And many people in South Florida wanted to trade him for Manny Ramirez, for a month of Manny Ramirez.
I did.
The Marlins said no to that.
Still should have done that.
But Stanton was close to big league ready. These guys are not anywhere close to big league ready. And Starling Castro, like the Cubs, before they started winning, the Cubs were like, please, dear God, let's get him out of here. Like, we don't want this person in our clubhouse.
Maybe it's just as simple as they don't believe that this is the real Giancarlo Stanton. And they don't want to wait half a season for him to revert back to what we had the past couple years of him. And they figure this is the highest he's going to be. Let's move him now.
Okay, you know what's fair about that, though? And I'd be totally down with that. This is as high he's going to be. Prove it to me by coming back with something that looks like it was as high as it's going to be. Like, yes, you're right about that. His value is at an all-time high. But why did you just trade him as if he doesn't have value?
Well, because he only has one team now.
No, Stugatz, you're wrong about that. He said Los Angeles and New York, and there are 3 teams in those markets. He said Los Angeles and New York. He did not say just the Yankees.
I know, but the other teams, according to all the reports, weren't interested. It ended up just being the Yankees who expressed interest, which is unfortunate because then that's what you needed. You needed leverage. You needed one team against the other.
It doesn't matter who's interested. It only matters who does it look like it's interested. That's how you drive a price up.
Right. Dan, I'm agreeing with you. On the front end, build a relationship with Stanton to a point where you can, hey, I'm going to dangle the Red Sox out there. Don't do anything. We're trying to get the most in return for you. I'm going to get you out of here. We love you, but the finances of this team are messed up. We need to get you out of here, but just work with us. I'm saying, Dan, but the way they went about it, it's their fault, but they were handcuffed.
Stugatz, why are the finances of this team screwed up when they got their stadium? Like,
I don't have the answers.
No,
for that.
no. I'm not asking. I'm asking you rhetorically. I'm saying, why is the solution always to Sampson and Loria running the business like a business and running it wrong, and running it wrong for the fan, and Jeter and Sherman running it wrong for the fan, and Huizenga running it wrong for the fan? Why is it always that the way to fix that is to bleep the South Florida customer? Why is that always the solution to other people being dip bleeps about how to run a business?
Well, they also are raising ticket prices, which is ridiculous. You're supposed to understand that they're making all these changes, and they want you to pay more for a lesser product.
They don't deserve a person to go to their stadium next year. Not one. Not one. Like, for what? Why? Why would you go to see the other guys?
Yeah. Isn't Stanton coming back?
Yeah, next year they start out with the Cubs, and then April, I think they have the Yankees and the Red Sox coming to town.
Cubbies, big draw. There'll be people there, a lot of people there. Especially if the Marlins go with Palmeiro at first, Roger Clemens is their number one starter.
Don Lebatard.
I'm going to tell you something, Hulk Hogan. I heard what you said about me a few days ago, yeah. And I don't think that you can separate business from friendship. I'm your friend. But if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah.
Stugats.
Randy Savage, I know your
mustache is crooked.
Your beard is a little sideways, too, but I don't want to get into that.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugats on the ticket.
Can I ask a question, Macho Man?
More questions.
I'm sorry about that. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Texter writes in, I know it's the local hour, but Stanton is gone. Deal with it.
He's that guy.
I am dealing with it by turning it into content and lining all of our pockets. And I'm dealing with it right now by calling Bruce Sherman's office. I'm going to figure out how to do this on my phone. Bear with me because I don't know what the rules are or how any of this works. And Mike Ryan is just scared right now because of what I'm doing. But I'm going to dial this telephone number right now. And
you have his office number there?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And try not to have their voice unknowingly go over the air.
Right.
Like don't
the person's voice.
Yeah, don't point the receiver towards the microphone.
That's important. Does he need to alert them that he is indeed on a radio?
Hold on, you're not going to hear the person's voice. Hold on a second.
All right. This is
I've reached M4 Capital.
Okay.
And I'm being told to touch pound here. Hold on a second.
All right, you're going to have to go probably through the the company extension list there. First three letters of his last name.
Hello, Chris. This is Dan Lebitard from 790 The Ticket in Miami. I'm on a radio station. We're live on the air. Can I put you on the air or can I not put you on the air? I'm trying to reach Bruce Sherman. But I know he's not available, but can I put you on the air or can I not put you on the air? All right, I can't put you on the air. All right, could you relay a message to him? Can you tell him that Dan Lebitard called and I'd like to talk to him on the radio about using Jeter as a meat shield? Using Jeter as a meat shield. Using Jeter as a meat shield. I'd like to talk to him about that. And I'm going to call you every day I'm going to tell him I'm going to call every day until we talk to him.
Right. So you'll talk to her tomorrow.
Right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Is that okay?
Does she need you to spell meat shield? M-E-E-T.
Hold on a second. He suggested what? No, I don't want to talk to Derek Jeter. I have no interest in talking to Derek Jeter. I want to talk to Bruce Sherman. I know that that's what he suggested, but I'm going to call every day until I get to talk to Bruce Sherman, okay? That's fine if he suggests I talk to Derek Jeter, but this radio show is going to call you every day until we talk to Bruce Sherman, okay? Or talk to somebody. Like, I'm not putting this on you. I know you didn't do anything. I just want you to relay that message to him. I know you didn't do anything, and you don't have anything to do with this, but just let him know that every day I'm going to be calling until he talks to us, even if it's throughout the entirety of his ownership. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for relaying the message. Thank you.
All right.
That made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. You need to, maybe I'll call tomorrow because you need to butter her up on the front end for a good 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right, you call tomorrow. That's even better.
Okay.
You know, we can play good cop, bad cop. I'll call every day as my guy, and you call every day as your guy.
But I think you're the good cop.
It's important now that I call like I'm calling from a separate show. I have nothing to do with
hold
you.
On. No, don't start throwing scam in
You're
there.
on the ban list.
Hold on. Can you call now? Let's see how much better you do this. Let's do the same thing here. I'll make the call for you.
All right.
And you do.
I might not even get around to, on the first call, asking for him. I might just spend the entire time on her and then call back a little bit later.
That's fine. Well, it's going to come from my number, so she's going to recognize it. Just go ahead and do that there.
Okay.
It's the top number on the screen. Don't look at any of the other people I called there. That's intensely private.
Okay. Wow. Whoa. I can't reveal any of these? I mean, whoa. I didn't know you had access.
There's some good ones there.
A little jealous.
Yeah.
This is not the number I want from this phone. Hold on, stop moving.
I'm sorry.
Right,
I'm trying. I don't want you to get all the other numbers. I know I'm on to you. It's taken an awful long time for you to get those numbers down. It took you so long to get those numbers down because you were taking down all the wrong numbers. Can you call? Were you even taking down Bruce Sherman's number? Or were you taking down Barkley's number?
Let me see the phone again. All right, hold on a sec. All right, I got Chuck's right.
Did you?
All right, here we go. I'm calling. What's his name again? Bruce?
Bruce Sherman.
All right. What was her name?
Chris, she said.
Okay.
Make sure her number does. Make sure her voice. You can't hear, so.
Yeah, you may want to back up a little bit.
You got to press pound.
Are we harassing somebody right now? Is this what we're doing?
Is it harassment?
Well, back-to-back calls. It depends on how good his tone is.
Well, you know he's going to be great.
Yeah, but you were mean.
Hey, Chris, how are you? Oh, that's nice. You having a good morning? I was hoping because I have a thing I'm doing on Mr. Sherman. It's a very positive piece here about Mr. Sherman, about how he saved baseball in Miami.
Yeah,
and so I'm wondering, would it be possible if I can get maybe 10 to 15 minutes? I've heard wonderful things about him. And by the way, I've heard wonderful things about you as well. So I have some friends who mutual friends of Mr. Sherman, and they tell me great things both about you and about him. And so I have this great piece I'm doing about how he saved baseball in Miami and how he really cares about the city. And I was wondering if I could get any sort of access to him. My name is John. Last name is Wiener, Weiner. And that'd be great. I appreciate you asking. Listen, that's all I can ask you to do is go to him and ask. But just please let him know that it's going to be a positive piece on him. Oh, I'm with ESPN.
Yeah, that's good.
My phone number.
All right, go outside.
Okay.
Go outside.
My phone number is 955.
Whoa, too loud.
Now you guys are made deeply uncomfortable by this. And
yeah, that was I was uncomfortable when you were calling.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Levitar Show. Was that good entertainment or was that uncomfortable? Because you felt bad for her, right? But she didn't do anything.
Exactly why I felt bad.
But you're feeling bad for her when I'm sitting here telling her you didn't do anything. I want to get this. I want to relate.
You threw that in after your tone was, "I'm going to call you every day." You sounded like Carl Vandenbosch. I'm going to get him.
I'm going to get him every day. And it's such an empty thread
because
we were gonna. The thing about our show is that we start things, we beat them into the ground, and then we never do them again. Do you remember Stugatz? Every day for a while, he was whistling. He was going to be whistling or trying to whistle every day for a while, and it lasted like 6 days, and then we wandered away from it.
Yeah, that's more like our positive hijinks.
He should be on in a half hour.
All right. Well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do when he gets here and all of a sudden it's less positive than what it is that you promised? Because we'll
deal with it as it arrives.
Well, then John Wiener starts a conversation and is like, "Hey, I have a partner here in my office."
Right. My part will be positive. You can do whatever you want with your part. Okay. Something like that. But she did say I will. She actually asked for more information. She asked who our mutual friends were.
Yeah, but of course, Stugatz, she's going to ask questions until your lie unravels.
Listen, man.
Who'd you say were your mutual friends?
You guys know
that
who
part
I know.
needs to be quiet.
Okay? Yeah, that part needs to be quiet. Because listen, you guys know I do have mutual friends, right? I always have a mutual friend.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
He's not kidding, though.
No, I'm not.
Pretty sure. No, he swayed me. He pushed me off.
He always has a mutual friend. Guillermo, how did you feel about all that? Because I looked in the other room. I didn't see a whole lot of laughter. I saw just a lot of squirming.
I mean, this is a step above the wacky hijinks of like sending them coal for Christmas and stuff like that. I thought that might be fun, but no.
Oh, well, you want to do that too? Let's do that.
You're going to send coal to Marlins Park?
No, to Bruce Sherman. No, okay. I want to smoke this guy out. Like, I'm talking, I want to stop this about being about Jeter.
You literally want to smoke him out with coal?
Yes.
That seems dangerous. Don't say that.
No, not lit coal. Not lit coal. Just coal.
So we're attacking the one that actually put in the money.
Not enough of it.
Yeah, but this
not
is weird.
enough of it.
I'm just trying to follow.
I'd like to stay exactly where we are, where we don't care about him and we're just blaming Jeter. Jeter's never been blamed for anything. Yeah. This is fun,
Neither
man.
is Bruce Sherman.
I'm
here to do it.
This is where I want to be, man.
Big boy, you want to own a team? Let's go. Play out in public. Let's go. Don't hide in the shadows. Don't give it over to Jeter and then spend the rest of the time counting your money.
It was curious. I think your whole theory just got a lot more validation by the first response. Yeah. Please speak to Derek. Please speak to Derek. He suggests you speak to Derek.
I didn't get that.
No, but I want to smoke this dude out. Like, let's go. What are you going to do? I bet you're just going to be here when it's time for the political proclamations and to have governors sitting next to you at games? Or do you care about the city? And do you care about the people who have funded that stadium? And do you care about the people that we're going to spend a season telling not to go to your baseball games and your business because of how it is that you've started this? Welcome to Miami.
Fired up, man.
Yeah, no. Anytime that someone does Miami wrong, Dan gets pretty fired up like this. He's mad.
Guillermo's coming around.
I mean, I thought I was in this alone, and you've taken this to another level.
You really have.
Totally other level.
I don't think he's coming around. I think he's upset.
Usually I just, my anger fades away, and I get distracted by something else. And it seems like we're in this for the long haul.
Wait a minute. Are you guys,
Bill's domain,
Are you guys afraid of this? Are you guys afraid of this?
I don't want to come across as we're disrespectful. I think what at the heart of what we're trying to do is good.
Hold on with disrespectful, okay? Because so far, the only people that have been disrespected are the people who paid for that stadium and the people who care about the Marlins. And stop with Bruce Sherman and Derek Jeter.
I was saying Chris, the receptionist.
Disrespected.
She's a sweetheart.
I remember I told you guys this story one time. Ricky Williams came into the studio, came into Highly Questionable, and we did an interview, and he was just saying a lot of things about concussions that were against science, right? So it was an interview that people watched and were like, "Man, that's you sound loony. You sound a little bit crazy." And so as we're leaving the studio, because I had to push back on him on some questions and stuff. I'm like, "Man, Rick, that was uncomfortable. Like you're just gonna get scorched." And he just looks at me and he's like, "Isn't that your job? Like, isn't that your job to make the rich and powerful uncomfortable?" Can't really argue with him on that one. So I made you guys uncomfortable, but now let's make this guy uncomfortable. Like, let's make him answer some questions. Answer some questions. Big boy, you're a billionaire. You got in the big leagues. Act like it.